Congratulations on your loss today at the Emirates Stadium, the stadium we called home of no return. Only Manchester United went there and returned, but today we saw Bournemouth going to that same ground and coming out alive. Man, no say coming out alive. They won Arsenal 2-1, unexpected defeat.
That's true. That's true. Today game was just somehow. They didn't play anything at all. They weren't serious about the game. I won't do say I don't know if I would say it's fatigue or something, but I just noticed this period the team is so lackluster. They are not performing at all. Even the matches they won, they struggle to win the matches these days because I noticed the midfield is not even working again. Even the attackers are not even gelling. That's where the issues are. Most of the players are just underperforming. Since the second half of the season, I noticed from December, most of these players have been underperforming and we will just be scaling through. But this time around, it's having a toll on us and it's so pathetic.
Do you think it's just a part of underperformance or the double back-to-back loss and the cups?
I wouldn't so much pin it on the double back-to-back loss because after that, they were able to win at Sporting, which was a very difficult ground for them to win. They were able to grind out a draw. But today, everybody expected them to win. Today match was a win game for us now, but I can't really understand what really went wrong. They weren't serious from the onset. You notice today, the whole of from the starting of the play, the Bournemouth players were everywhere in the midfield. They never allowed them to play, and I was wondering what was happening. The midfield wasn't there. Both the defensive midfielders and attacking midfielders, they weren't playing anything. Bournemouth have a feel of the day in the midfield. Possession-wise, they were far better than us. Today is something ahead of. Today they possessed the ball and they were making so much threat to score the goal. That's just the truth. And Arsenal could not create any clear-cut chance. That goal came on a stroke of luck, that penalty. If not, they never created a clear-cut chance for them to score. A team that wants to win the league should be able to create chances for them to score. You create and the keeper saves. You say, okay, yes, you were able to create chances, but you couldn't make it. But not a situation where you cannot create chance. A team that is aiming to win the cup, no chance. It's something else.
All right, going over to your attack, let me start from your attack. Gyökeres seems overwhelmed in terms of winning those duels, which we expect a striker of his stature to win with the kind of body build he has.
Him not being able to win those aerial duels is something of a different thing to me because that was not expected from him. I expect him to win most of those duels aerially. But unfortunately for him, he hardly win any of them. And when he gets the ball, this time around, he loses the ball unnecessarily. And it's also having a burden on the players because when your attacker is unable to perform, you also being confused. The team is totally confused because the attacker now is unable to perform and the midfielders too are unable to perform. No much passes to the attacker. The midfield is just open, no clear-cut pass, no penetrative pass. They are just, they play most of what they play is just square passes that you can see.
Simple ones.
Simple passes, square passes, no penetrative pass, no killer passes for an attacker to make runs and all the rest. They just give square passes, and those passes will not lead to goal. The defenders, you notice the defenders of the Bournemouth team, they don't even bother themselves. They know where they're supposed to pass the ball. So what they do, they just block that place. For them, you pass it, they'll bring it back. Just like that, next time they take it back to the goalkeeper. And today is something else. Even the goalkeeper too wasn't even helping matters. We are making silly mistakes.
Putting foot on the ball.
Unnecessary holding of the ball, which is not part of them. They shouldn't have been holding the ball. There are certain times you need to relieve this ball first time. First one touch passes. You don't need to start rubbing the ball until the opponent will not take his position before you start to pass it to your player. By then they've already closed the spaces that the person was supposed to pass. It's something. I think I need to change is the pattern of play this period and the mentality of the players. They need to go and talk to them and psych them up, letting them know that the league is not yet over.
Before now, everybody, even I said the league was over because winning this game would have given us a 12-point lead ahead of Manchester City. But losing this game has dragged you back because 2 games ahead and then just still playing against Manchester City, which will means they can cover up those points within some few. Before we close our eyes and open, they will cover up those points. Do you think Arsenal can make this happen? Because with the way we are saying, these players they've lost something in them, which is a courage.
They will still win the league. Inside of winning the league, that one is certain that Arsenal will win the league.
But you're just complaining now that this performance are not there. They're not working the way you expect.
Yes, they are not performing fine. They are not performing, but winning the league, that one is sure.
How would you win a league when you don't perform?
That is it, because certain times you don't perform, but you grant that result. There are certain games now that don't go your way, but before you know it, you have a stroke of luck and you get a goal and that ends the game. Most teams do it. You see them, they have been outplayed from starting to the end. Just the 9 minutes. they will get the stroke and the goal will come in just like that. So that doesn't mean we cannot win the league.
But three games in the division now, two cups and one league match. No luck. Those penalty, those set piece you're using to score. You had one today and you scored with one. But those set pieces are not coming by. They're not favoring you again. That is why we are complaining about that you're a set piece team, and we argue that you're not because you are scoring much goals from aside from set piece. But we have seen it that you depended more on set piece when your team play is not working.
Saying we are a set piece team or we are solely dependent on set piece, that means you are not being true to yourself. That's just the truth. Because if you check out the open play, Arsenal has a lot of open play goals. We have so much goals in open play, not set piece. The fifth set piece goals is just, is it 18 or 2 total of about how many goals they've scored. And when you have a set piece goal,
Add this one at 20.
this one is a penalty.
It's a set piece too.
It's not a set piece. It's a penalty. Penalty. You won't tell me penalty because that penalty came from somebody that raised his hand and they blocked it inside the 18 and the referee blew. So if you add it, okay, say add this one, that's 19 goals in set piece. We have scored for close to 60 something. How many goals? So you can imagine saying a team is a set piece goal when they have more goals on open play than set piece. Then you're not being truthful to yourself. And now, fine, we are having a bad ill luck. The luck is not there for us to score, and because the players are not performing, they're underperforming. That's why you see they have been struggling to create chances. From the starting of the season, we know we created so many chances, and we scored a lot of goals from the open play. But this season, I just noticed they've lost their idea. That's what I'm just looking at. They just lost this idea of hitting those penetrative passes, and it's having a toll on them. That's just the truth.
Are your players tired, or you miss some players and you need them to perform? Are your players tired?
Fine, I will say fatigue is also part of it. Fatigue is also part of it. Like the player, likes of Zubimendi, I think is tired and is so fatigued that most times you see him rather than moving forward, he prefers going backward. Unlike before, that most time they'll go forward play. But now I don't really understand the
Conserving the strength.
the conserving strength and all this. So the fatigue is also there. And beside that, I'm seeing them. I don't know. They're just wearing out unnecessarily.
Do you
If
think
it's much of matches that they've played, that's why it's us like that. That maybe that should be.